Hey, this is Ewan, welcome back to the shed. So quick video today just to talk a little about something that happened to me the other day when flying. So I've been trying to fly and tune the Mini Drak, so I'm using iNav in that. So I've been having some flights just to get that tuned out. So I was flying, everything was looking okay, so flying about and pass through, just getting used to the aircraft again. I was checking out some of the gains that I had set up in iNav for the assisted flight. So flipped into horizon mode, which should just stabilise the plane, and as you can see there's still some work required on the stabilisation, so the gains are too high, so I'm getting some oscillations. So I'm flying over myself and flip it into return to home, and at this point, as you can see, the video starts to break up quite badly and it essentially disappears. Don't know why at that range, but I tried to bring it around. My initial thought is to go back into manual and try and gain some altitude. So I flip back into pass through and give it basically throttle. But it's amazing how quickly you lose control when you can't see what you're actually doing. And I end up going into a dive, essentially. And the screen you can see here is basically the last flicker of image that I saw on my goggles at the time. So basically what I can see is that I'm heading straight forward the ground and about to pile into the ground. So at this point I'm panicking. I flip it back into return to home and hope that it's going to recover itself. And as you can see, iNav actually does a really good job of pulling it out. I ended up in a spin and it pulls out of that really nicely. At this point I'm majorly panicking, I can't hear anything, and based on the last image that I saw, as far as I'm concerned, I'm piling straight into the ground. But as you can see from the footage, iNav is returning to home, although it's still a bit wobbly, it is bringing itself round. But because I can't hear anything, and I think that I must have hit the ground, I throttled back. And as you can see, the result of that is that iNav tries to keep the plane level, but since it has no power, it loses altitude and lands. It does it actually quite gracefully. So at this point I'm at the field panicking, thinking I've lost my plane. I've lost, £300 worth of equipment. So quickly pack up my stuff, jump into the car with my friend who was flying with me at the time. I've got the goggles on. I don't have any RSSI feedback because I'm using the L9R, which doesn't have telemetry. But we start driving towards where we think the plane has landed, and luckily I start to get an image back in the goggles, and that allows me to get the GPS coordinates. So quickly punch them into Google Maps, and it gives the location of the plane basically to within a metre, which is amazing. So at this point I'm starting to feel a bit more hopeful that I might be able to recover the plane. So we drive over, and it was pretty much where we thought, although on the other side of the road. Only damage, and it's not even damage really, so one of the wing joiners popped off, so these little 3D printed wing joiners, one of those popped off, but that's as designed really. And as you can see from the footage, basically I had incorrectly configured the failsafe so iNav has its own built-in failsafe, but stupidly I had configured the failsafe on the L9R to give 60% throttle. So you can see as it lands, basically 60% throttle kicks in and it's sitting on the ground. Now I believe if I had configured the iNav failsafe correctly, this wouldn't happen, so it wouldn't engage the throttle whilst on the ground. But you can correct me if I'm wrong there. But basically the upshot of that is I have, well you can see it there, a green prop and lots of grass on the vertical winglets. But for what happened, I think I got away really lightly, and I am extremely lucky. So I guess quick video, but the takeaways from that are give your plane some time if you've got return to home configured. Don't assume that you've piled into the ground like I did. Give it some time to actually get back to you. If I'd have just left mine, it would have returned fine. Make sure you have, if you're using iNav, make sure you have the failsafe configured within iNav and don't use your receiver failsafe. So all in, I got away lucky, but thanks to iNav, my plane landed level and didn't just pile into the ground. So just a quick video, but thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll get some proper videos and be able to finish the review of the Mini Drak if the weather starts to get a bit better here in Scotland. So thanks for watching, goodbye.